Good morning, welcome to Morning Outlook. This is Kim speaking on Wednesday, the 15th of April. So, what we've got in store today then? Well, there's plenty of low value news coming out, and most news at the moment is pretty low value. We've got core retail sales out at 1:30. I'm looking, we've got the Canadian monetary policies and rate statements, etc. later today. They're already on a 0.25%. They're not expected to cut any further. There's a press conference at 3:30. Lots of little bits and pieces. I don't see anything there that's going to make the markets move particularly much. Maybe the core retail sales in the US, but it's expected to come in massively low anyway. Very negative figures. So the markets will overlook it at this stage. So obviously Trump won't. Anyway, looking across then where we're sitting here with this euro dollar, higher lows, higher highs still running through this market. Just on this 4-hourly picture here, 60-minute time frame here, still through high lows, high highs through there. At the moment it's just pitched through its daily pivot there into the 34. That may be providing support. Maybe if it pushes back above that 60-minute 8, it becomes bullish again, more bullish again. It's obviously had quite a sell through the Asian session there. Anything above that 8 may see it run back towards that 4-hourly 200, maybe the weekly R1 sort of territory. But as it stands, we're sort of sitting there on the sort of more bullish side at this stage. Okay, the pound. Let's have a look at the pound. So the pound yesterday managed to run all the way through, solid old day in a sense. Ended up closing pretty close to the daily 200 there, but has had a reaction off that, and maybe it looks a little bit, well, still on this 4-hourly high lows, high highs. So in real terms it's still pushing up there at the moment. It's just the way this curved round. I thought, well, maybe it looks a bit softer. It's lacking support where it sits here at the moment, so it does make me wonder whether it will pull. Actually, is it maybe a bit of horizontal support coming from these prior highs here, maybe. So maybe a bit of support from that sort of zone. Just looking across there, 2570-ish area. So maybe again, if this pushes back above its 60-minute 8 area, that's back above that pivot, I will be looking on the more bullish side of that. Overall, with the picture that sits here, as I say, it's had quite a big dip down there though, but we'll see how it runs back this morning. Okay, dollar yen. Yen again, this one's rolled over. Looking back towards prior lows there. It's just short of its monthly pivot. Solid old sort of continuation really, pushing through. A bit more whippy on the intraday periods, but it doesn't really show on this hourlies now, although that was quite a pullback there. It's barely showing, as I said. It's really just getting on with itself really. A bit of divergence maybe sitting across the hourlies here as I look at this into that low. Maybe it'll pull back towards its daily pivot there. A little bit less certain, with the others already back to their pivots. This it hasn't, and it just again lower highs, lower lows, just solid downward trends at the moment. I don't trust this so much. As I say, lacking touching that pivot. Maybe it will rally up towards that. Aussie dollar. So the Aussie dollar continued shoving yesterday, rolling a little bit at the moment. Obviously the day's not finished, can't read too much into this roll, but has got the weekly pivot below. It has again, it's a bit like the pounds, has quite a dip over here, but the overall picture there, it still hasn't overly, it's got a bit of divergence at the highs. Maybe it's going to roll back a little bit more and this is that sort of bigger move down. In fact, it's taken out the prior low here, so it's even a bigger move down than the euro to pound, sort of relatively taken out a prior low. So don't particularly like this either way at this stage. Sorry, I wanted to go back to that 4 hourly. Again, no real support where it sits at the moment, so it may just want to sort of dip off down a little bit further, maybe towards, well, I think that weekly pivot may be a big correction, but maybe it's possible it'll get back towards that area. So more difficult one to look at there. I think it's a bit weaker. I'll be looking for clues in the other markets almost there. If we see further dollar strength coming through, maybe the Aussie may be a softer one to short. Okay, Canadian dollar softening up here as well. It was doing pretty well, bearing in mind the oil prices have really been sinking down as well. The Canadian dollar had been making its gains against the US dollar here, but a little bit of a slip here, a little in terms of the shorter time frames. Got a higher low or two confirmed through that. This could be back on at some stage to its weekly pivot if we see a continuation. Just looking at the euro on another screen as I'm watching this, that's dropping back down, and it may be that we just see these markets roll and this one push back up again. So we'll just watch that this morning. It's a bit of indecision sitting through this at the moment to some of the patterns we've seen, and it may be that some of them give opportunities to trade to the opposite side at the moment against trend, but just looking, it may have been, it's very difficult to see anything in here in terms of divergence. Just have a look. No, it wasn't even any divergence on this as such I can obviously see. So maybe we'll get some movement opposite sides of where we've been moving in terms of these trends, but it may be just a case of sitting patiently a little bit this morning. Okay, that's pretty much it for me. As I said, news wise, not a lot, so I'll leave you to it. Have a great day. Bye for now.